Hey guys, it's Jeff again. Just a little shop update. The wood room is a disaster as ever. So for those who say this place is always neat and clean, there's your proof. A little artwork from my son from many years ago. And probably seen this little shop vac cart with the dust deputy on it. That works super cool. A new little toy here, the little CNC. Good for carving out little things. There's one little backlit litho pane. Got a cool package in the mail the other day. Look at that. Wrought iron. Hand forged. From a good friend. And you've seen this. We got the underbench storage going with the foam. That works very well. Also, put one of the hooks to use for now. So we've been cleaning up clamps. They used to hang on the ceiling. Now we're getting them kind of organized along the wall here. And got the sharpening station here with the work sharp on one side. It's on wheels, so I just flip it around if I want to use the grinder with the tool rest and all that kind of stuff. And this saw wall has been working out really well. And a couple of little tips about that, because we got the miter saw, radial arm saw, and then down on the other end is the drum sander, and they all share a common run here. But here's a couple of tricks for you with this Craig fence. There's red numbers and black numbers. The black numbers are standard, so I can just set the fence, of course, for the miter saw. But if I'm doing a shortcut, less than 12 inches, I got this little spacer board. It's just cut at 12 inches. And if I butt it up here and use the red numbers, I can now, in this particular case, cut a 3-inch board right there. And then the second trick for using the radial arm saw, rather than doing two different scales, I got a different spacer board right here. And if I put that board in, now in this case, I'm going to make a 15-inch cut on the radial arm saw. So it's kind of a handy tip if you got two saws on one fence. I got a piece of masonite I put down here if I'm using the radial arm saw, because I'm too wussy to cut into the maple. That's old bowling alley, for those probably who don't know that. Probably most of you do. And we got the dust collection working on this saw as well. It's pretty basic. It was a tip I saw online. I apologize, I don't remember who I got that from, but it works pretty good. It takes most of the dust. Plus, we enclosed the saws back here to keep that open framework cleaner. Same over here with the drum sander. We just covered everything in masonite. Lastly, I guess back over here, we got the scrap bin between the two saws for all the cutoffs. There's just a hole back there, and then out front it just pulls out. Instead of throwing stuff across the shop, which is what I used to do, trying to hit the basket. And of course, just a lot of junk in there. Those green tubs got on sale just for different cutoffs for different species. That's a walnut. And the drum sander is a modified Performax, an old school bolt-on for the radial arm saw, and I built an improved dust collection, so I got 4-inch dust collection on here. This side just flips up so you can get at the paper, and then the sliding table is found some 80/20 material, and you just put your board on here. It's got a catch on the back, and you pull the material from this side through the sander. You can actually go back and forth without having to walk around. All the sander adjustments are made right there with the, just like you would adjust the radial arm saw up and down. I'll flip it on here. Works well. And we got more sanding stuff. This is the sanding corner, actually. I moved the saw around. It used to face the same way as this table, and I flipped it around 90 degrees and picked up a lot of extra room back here, which allowed me basically to run all these different sanding things off of one shop vac, which is hanging from the ceiling right there. That was a Craigslist find for 25 bucks for a fine dust extractor. And yesterday I built this overhead arm, so for now it's set up with the random orbital right here on the downdraft table, but I can just disconnect the hose, swing it around, and hook it up to any of these like that. Keeps the hose off the floor. Is really quick and simple, so that'll work on the spindle sander, the disc sander right here, the belt sander. Seems like something else too, but for sure it works on those. And the sander cart here is built on wheels as well, so if I want to use the $99 Harbor Freight disc sander, I just spin the cart 90 degrees and I can use the sander, that sander versus this one. And got a Harbor Freight motor mounted on here for the belt sander. That's an old Craftsman belt sander that I rebuilt, put new bearings in it, and it runs pretty nice. And like I say, we got the downdraft table here, also serves as an outfeed. And then we have like a sanding board mounted on the front of it. I can just take that off, put it on top of the downdraft table, and it's got adhesive sandpaper on both sides, all different grits, nice for flattening stuff. Keep the half sheet sander mounted in the inner tube in the cupboard here. That's also nice for making boxes, flattening, things like that. And then we also, close by, keep the I don't know what you call it, just a motor with a spindle on it and a chuck, and I can put a flop sander on it or run the buffing setup, the Beal buffing system. If you haven't used the Beal buffing system, they're super cool. So here's another trick for using up those free Harbor Freight flashlights. You just mount it on a piece of conduit. If you got an anchor jig, you'll really appreciate being able to see the line. And the dust collection has been fairly well modified. The motor's now mounted up on the wall up there. Got the dust deputy separator. And it all runs up into one common pipe in the ceiling, with one exception. If I'm running this table saw right here, I just pull this hose out and plug it into that PVC connection there for the saw. And that's how that works. Of course, we've got an air filter right above the sanding station. And the rest of this stuff most of you have seen. Router table. All this stuff's on wheels right here, so I can pull it out in a second or two and be good to go. The other thing is the dust collection on the planer is just an old dust collector bag, rather than fill up the bin with big chips. And that's about it. Thanks for stopping by.